Good day guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today, the video I did the other day on the gentleman that wanted a warranty and we didn't even build the engine. Further update on the engine, we've partially stripped it and it was a suspected cam bearing at the beginning. Was actually a cam bearing that let go, but there's a little bit more to it than that. So we've got involved with the bottom end. We got the end cover off, the flywheel off, and the sump off. Just about to remove the webbings on the crank. So I'll show you this, and you can see on this one you've got two webbings here which you need to remove. They unbolt, 2 bolts on each. You remove that, then you've got what they call the cheese wedges that sort of bolt to each of the mains here. So there's a locating dowel here and here that locate the wedges and keep them in the housings. You undo those, take these 2 webbings off, obviously take the rods out, and then the crank comes out this side of the block. Obviously, once you've took this seal carrier off. But upon further inspection, now whether this is something to do with a cam bush letting go and wedging itself somewhere, but see that? It's broke a crankshaft. We're going to have to go away and give the customer the bad news. So this is one reason why we just do not do half a job anymore on any engine. You know, usually on this type of engine, if you're doing it, you and it's probably the reason why the guy did it in the first place or didn't do it. The cam bearings may look absolutely perfect, and you know the cam might feel fine in there, no slack whatsoever, but it's an unknown because of the age. It's an unknown what material they've used, whether it's an aftermarket bearing or it's a poor quality bronze that they've used. And obviously on this, that's exactly what's happened. The bronze has just crumbled up, give up. I think a big chunk of it's come out, wedged itself in between the crankcase and the crank, and it snapped the crank. So unfortunately, we're just hoping that it hasn't sort of dislodged the seal carrier end of the crank and sort of twisted the crank and damaged the main bearing, but we shall have to see. So yeah, although, as I say, although it's unfortunate for the customer and no one wants it to cost anyone any more money than it should, but I'm just glad that in a way that we didn't get involved with this in the first place. But on the other hand, not saying things don't happen like that, but if we had got involved with this and we had built this engine, those cam bearings would more than likely have been changed for exactly that reason. So we're going to get that crankshaft out and sort of inspect the mains and go from there. So there we have it, guys. We're going to, because that's sort of moving about, we're obviously going to get this crankshaft out. We're going to see what this end main is like, because I can see that crank's wobbling about in there, and obviously where it's twisted, it may have twisted and sort of damaged this main bearing. So we'll get this out and we'll see what we've got. Right, so we've got the crankshaft out. The end main bearing didn't look fantastic, so we're going to replace the mains. We've rang the customer up today and give him the bad news, bless him. Fortunately, I think he thinks he's got a second-hand crank, so he's going to send that in tomorrow. We're going to check it, probably grind it, and as I say, you know, do the mains and what have you. So not too disastrous for him, although he's doing it, as I say, he's doing it for a as a warranty for himself. But yeah, as I say, if it was us that built the engine, and if we hadn't have replaced those small end bushes and this had have happened, you can imagine could have been very expensive. Some of these crankshafts for these 3 cylinders, not necessarily for this engine here, but for some of them, like the Kubotas and the Perkins and that, the crankshafts can be extremely expensive. So, but on a positive note, and this is an update on the kit car, the Summit Talon controller that I showed you the other day, we've unboxed this and we've got the dash pod back from being wrapped, and we fitted this today in it, which I shall show you in a moment. Also the Race Technology Dash 2, we fitted that in there as well, into the dash. We should get the panels back end of this week, and then the car goes on Friday to have the loom fitted. So that goes Friday, he's going to do that next week. So with a bit of luck, end of next week, beginning of the week after, should be able to start building this back up. We did see today that there is a track day down at Perranporth on the 28th of December. So all going well, fingers crossed, we can get the car built up and run and get that down there and do it. So if any of you guys are interested or want to come down there and see us, by all means feel free. But let's have a little look at the car as it is at the minute. So here is the kit car at its present state. You see the pod here has been wrapped, and this is the orange that we're obviously using. I think it's a really nice colour. We were going to go for a satin, but decided to go for the gloss in the end, mainly because the satin wasn't available in that make. But I'm glad we did now. It looks really good. Once we've got the sort of matte black stripes and what have you on there, that's going to look top. As you can see, he's wrapped the face there in matte carbon, and it's like a textured carbon. That looks really smart. As you can see, we've got the Summit Talon controller in the middle there. That's looking proper racy. And we've got the Dash 2 over there with the 4 buttons underneath it. That looks proper trick, I think. And yeah, roll cage is in, welded up fully. I made some little brackets at the backs on last Friday to mount these sidebars, which are fully removable, because you don't need them all the time, I suppose. The back's all welded and sort of plated and painted up now in the gloss black. So all we've got to do now is replace all these brake lines with braided lines, put the diff back in, and get it all back together. So yeah, really excited. So that's the kit car, really excited about that. And yeah, so thanks very much for watching again, guys. Remember to hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it if you would. As I say, not a big percentage of you guys that are watching are subscribed at the minute, so yeah, do that and that will help us out a lot. Hit the notification bell. Remember to comment down below if you've got any sort of comments. To be honest, guys, I get so many comments now on my videos. In the last couple of weeks, it's come on leaps and bounds since we've been monetized. So believe me, I do go through them and read them, and I will definitely comment back. So I'm not ignoring them. And thanks ever so much for commenting. Really appreciate it. Stay tuned because I've got a brilliant video for you. Take care, guys. Speak to you soon. Cheers.